Welcome to your favorite channel where we talk basketball and culture, all while chefing up recipes of your favorite dishes. Welcome to the concession stand. It's halftime. Welcome back, guys, to the #1 cooking and sports show, the concession stand. I'm your boy, Joey, and here today we're going to be talking about the top 5 candidates for MVP. Season started, opening week, beautiful, loved it. So we had NBA on NBC, Prime. I'm not used to it, still getting used to it. Got to go to different lengths to find the games, but nonetheless, I love the product that they put out there. So I'm just going to recap all of that and also go over which players I think this year is going to be coming for everyone's neck. And today, of course, we're going to be preparing some beef and chicken fried rice, hibachi style. I like to call it game day fried rice just because of how it's not traditionally prepared the way I make it. But nonetheless, it's a dope recipe I think that y'all will love. So let's get right into it. Let's start the show. Before we get into the MVP candidates, let's go ahead and prep our meats for the fried rice. First, I've got some sirloin steak, chopped, washed, cleaned, and cubed up. And I got some chicken breasts, chopped, washed, cleaned, and cubed up. So I'm just gonna season these real quick. I'm gonna start with some Worcestershire sauce. And I'm gonna go with some soy sauce. Healthy amount. I eyeball it. Not really a measurements kind of cook. Gonna go with some sesame oil. Sesame oil is very strong, so just a couple dashes. Going with some 5-spice Chinese powder. Some black pepper. Onion powder. Garlic powder. Some ground ginger. And some Asian pepper salt. This is the truth right here. This is the GOAT. I don't know if you have it where you are, but this is definitely a necessary ingredient for that taste. Then, all you do, blend this all up, give it a good mix up, then you hit it, put it on the pan. So if you got a griddle plate or, you can use a frying pan, whatever you want. I use the griddle. Just turn the stove on, let that get hot on medium heat because you don't want it to be too hot. It will burn because the meat starts springing water and getting this gravy on. You don't want that to stick, so put it on medium. So while that's getting hot, let's get into the topic. So, of course, this season, there's a lot of moves made in the offseason. One of the biggest moves is, of course, Kevin Durant went to Houston, which is looking beautiful. Trying to get that chemistry going. It was in a close game with Detroit on the opener, but it was a good game. I went to the preseason game myself. KD looked good. The team looked well. They just really need a point guard. Fred VanVleet being out with that horrible injury, ACL, Achilles, you never want to hear those for a basketball player, but unfortunately, got that in the offseason. So prayers up for him. Hopefully he comes back better than ever because he really is a really good floor general and they miss his presence out there. But with that said, all the teams out here with all the injuries from last year, Tatum went down in game 6, I believe that was, against New York. You got Halliburton down. So the East is pretty much wide open. And the West is always is, for the last 5 or 6 years, as competitive as ever. So the players that I think, I'm going to start with number 5 on the possible MVP list, Anthony Edwards. Ant-Man in Minnesota. Minnesota's been to the conference finals the last 2 years. For some reason, everybody just forgets about them when it's leading up to the playoffs. But in the playoffs, they show out. They're gritty. They got a lot of girth. They're scrappy, play defense. They play well together. The only thing with them, I think they need another point guard as well. Mike Conley's age is starting to show as well. Although he's definitely needed for his leadership and his veteran presence. But I think if they got another initiator off the offense, it will give Ant everything he needs. Ant looked beautiful in the first game. Although they took the L to LA, he still looked great playing with his back to the basket. He just has to learn how to get around the double teams. I feel like when he's trapped, since he's only about 6'5", 6'4", somewhere around there, it's hard for him to see over the defense and make those plays like how a Luka would. But I think Ant is coming this year. He knows what's at stake. We heard him at the game. He said it's championship or bust. And there's one thing about Anthony Edwards, he always shows up and shows out. If he says it, best believe he means it. And that's his phrase. Believe that. So Ant at number 5. He's to the greased skillet. We're just gonna add the beef first because beef takes longer to cook, or steak. Let that get on there. Like I said, it's gonna bubble. Make sure you balance that fire. Put it down on medium heat. You know, if you go to Benihana's or you go to any hibachi grill, this is pretty much what they're making. You can make it at home for half the price, or less than half the price. Trust me, the food is always gonna come out better at the crib than it is going out. Don't worry, stick with me on the concession stand. We're gonna give y'all all the recipes that you need so that game day, your stomach's full and you can just focus on your favorite team. But where were we? We are at number 5. I said Anthony Edwards. So coming in at number 4 is Giannis. Giannis, Greek Freak Antetokounmpo. So Giannis put the pressure on Milwaukee this year to find or make a move to improve the team or make them better. Now listen, if I'm the GM of Milwaukee, of course, if Giannis is asking for assistance, that's what I'm gonna try to do. You don't get a generational talent like Giannis every day. Giannis is in the lane of a Shaquille O'Neal, LeBron James, those types of dominant players that are once in a generation. So of course, you know, they had success in 2021, but 2021 was 4 years ago. What have you done for me lately? And since then, they've been plagued with injuries. Giannis himself has been injured. They got Damian Lillard, which was supposed to be the good move, but that didn't work out. So Giannis is at a crossroads. I think in 2027, he's going to be going for free agency. So he's trying to see if he wants to stay there or go. Personally, I felt like Giannis could have went on to New York. New York is a much better situation. But the only problem with New York, although I heard that they were talking about trying to make a trade for Giannis, the main issue with New York is who would they give up and who would Giannis have once he makes his way over to New York? You could trade for Giannis, but then who is he going to play with? Is he just going to go over there and it's just going to be him and Jalen Brunson and probably one other player, a big three? We know in this era from OKC and teams like Denver that a big three is no longer the ingredient to a championship. That's of yesteryear. That's the Paul Pierce and Ray Allen and Kevin Garnett and the LeBron and D Wade years. Like, that's over with. The super teams are a dub. So it's all about depth. And if Giannis goes to New York, that's going to shrink their depth because obviously you're going to have to pay a star like Giannis. So that's something I'm sure that was in consideration when it comes to that deal going down. But nonetheless, I think this year Giannis is going to remind everybody and put the league on notice because with his team not being what it is, I mean, they picked up what's my guy from Indiana, Miles Turner, which is a good pickup. He's going to give them more than oh man, I'm drawing a blank. The center that went off to the Clippers, Brook. He's going to give them more than Brook Lopez, but still not enough. You know, I know they got a young point guard backup out there that they're trying to move him to the front. I think they could have used Russell Westbrook, but I'm not a GM. But nonetheless, I think Giannis has a clear runway to just dominate, score as much as he can, which are all the ingredients that an MVP candidate goes for. You know, dominant scoring, passing, rebounding, everything. I think Giannis is going to have one of those years. And the only thing with having a year like that, they're going to see, we got to keep him here. And I don't know what Milwaukee could do because their pieces, they don't really have much pieces that could make up a quality trade for a decent player. But number 4, Giannis Antetokounmpo. All right. So while the steak is cooking down, you want to get it cooked to a good texture, so it's not too rubbery, because it's not like you're eating a 8-ounce or a 16-ounce. It's going in rice. So while that cooks down, I'm gonna go ahead and start on the rice. So I know everyone likes to talk about using day-old fried rice. This is why this is called game day fried rice. I don't like to use the cold fried rice or, the clumpy fried rice. I make my fried rice fresh. So I'm gonna show you guys the trick on how to get the same effect of the soy sauce or the dark flavor into the fried rice without having to freeze it overnight or use day-old fried rice. So just get a pan, heat it with oil. Use a healthy amount of oil because you're gonna be toasting your rice. That's the trick, toast your rice. So while that's getting hot, we're gonna move on to number 3 on the probable MVP list. And the number 3 is Nikola Jokic, the Joker. Joker is arguably, he's a few steps away from being undisputed, but arguably the best player in the NBA. He might not be able to jump over a curve. He might not be that fast, but he is a scoring, rebounding, assisting machine. His hands are like glue. He doesn't lose the rock, low turnover rate. He can see things in the back of his head, on the side. Like, he's amazing to watch, very entertaining. He's a walking triple-double. I think he's gonna eclipse Russell Westbrook for the record for the most triple-doubles. And I think this might be a season he averages a triple-double. I say that because Denver has definitely gotten better. They gotten back Bruce Brown. They acquired Jonas Valanciunas. So now they can have an all-big lineup. Jamal Murray is Jamal Murray. You saw what he did to the Lakers the last 3 years. So look out for Joker to have an MVP season. It's going to be a race. And I'm saying top 5, but trust me, it's going to be more than just 5 of these guys. I think it's going to be a stiff 7. Now I'm going to add my washed parboiled rice. I think it's going to be 7 players in the race for MVP. Obviously, not everyone can be MVP, but it's going to be tight. A lot of these guys have a clear runway to average 20, 25, and even 30 this season. And the West being so competitive as it is, with every game going up into the score of like 120, 115 plus, oh yeah, they're going to put some points on the board. And that's when the stars shine. So definitely look out for Nikola Jokic to have an MVP season. Jokic was looking terrific the other day. Like I said, you have him on your team. It's like, what are we even talking about? He's a bucket. And he gets all his teammates involved. I'm sure he's a joy to play with. But look out for Jokic in his MVP season. He's coming back for another one. I think this is going to be 3 or 4. I think this is his 4th MVP if he's in the race again, which I'm sure he will. So now that the rice is toasting. I'm gonna go ahead and season the rice. So I'm gonna add, I like to add chow mein seasoning to mine. I'm gonna add some chow mein seasoning. Some sesame oil. Some soy sauce. Some onion powder. Some garlic powder. And some hoisin sauce. Hoisin sauce adds a little sweet flavor to it to balance off the salty taste from the soy sauce. We'll add some hoisin sauce. About 2.5 tablespoons. And just toast that. Let that toast for a couple minutes so that it gets through all the rice grains and cook down. And then once it's all toasted up, you're gonna go ahead and add the fire on low, put it down on a low fire. Then you're gonna add hot water in an even ratio. I use 3 cups of rice, so I'm gonna use 3 cups of water. Stir it up. Now, my last cooking, I'm gonna add a little bit of that Chinese pepper salt and let that boil down. I'll cover it down, let it cook on a low fire. Now, while the beef is still cooking, I'm gonna add the chicken now on the opposite side of the griddle. Chicken doesn't take as long to cook, so I make sure I add it once I know the beef is on its way being over. Just saute that. So the NBA is it's turned up this season. It's very exciting. I'm loving the trades. Like I said, the moves in the offseason were really big, and it's going to be some momentum shifters. And also, I think the injuries from last season seriously going to make an impact. But the Eastern Conference, right now, who do you guys think has clear lane to take the East? I know who I think. I know Cleveland is the favorite. You got Donovan Mitchell, you got Evan Mobley. They're perfect, but I don't believe Cleveland. I'm sorry. I don't believe you. I don't believe you, Cleveland. Unless you got LeBron James in the uniform, I can't see you as a champion. Sorry. The East belongs to New York. I can't believe I'm saying that. I've been a lifelong New York Knicks hater, but I'm happy. I'm happy for them. I'm proud of them because they haven't had anything to be happy about since 1999. And even 1999 in that lockout season, that was sheer luck as an 8th seed. But the Knicks, I think, have the clear opportunity to take the East. With Boston looking horrible, they have no cohesiveness. I mean, I love Jaylen Brown, but I don't think he's getting the job done as the leader over there. Even though Tatum to the public may not be that vocal leader that we may think that he needs to be, I don't know if that team could float without him, at least for a deep playoff run. And they don't have Drew Holiday, they don't have Porzingis. Those are all weapons that they got to acquire that last championship. And New York beat them in the opener. So I don't think it's going to happen for Boston. Orlando is the team to watch. That Desmond Bane acquisition, that's going to be a problem. And PB5, you already know what he's doing out there. Paolo's balling out of control. I mean, he's an honorable mention for the MVP candidates. I think Paolo and Cade Cunningham in Detroit are going to be honorable mentions. Detroit is great competition for New York. So is Orlando. I think those are my three teams in the East. Despite Cleveland may be a great regular season team and they might make it down into the playoffs, like semifinals or conference finals, I don't believe in them. But watch out for Detroit, watch out for New York, and watch out for Orlando. New York's got clear lane. They got to take advantage of it now. You got Cat, you got Jalen Brunson. The opportunity is opening up for them. So they better capitalize off of it. And New York, they always disappoint, but for their sake, I hope that they don't. So by now, the chicken and the steak should be cooked. I load the fire, kind of left them like separated on each side to leave the middle for the veggies, and then when I can mix my rice in. Finished toasting the rice, so rice looks perfect. So what we're gonna do is to the skillet, we're gonna add some butter to the middle. That butter get in there, bring it down to medium-low fire. And then to the butter, I'm gonna add my veggies. I got green onions, white onions, some garlic, some tricolor bell peppers. And I'm gonna let that saute in the middle. To go back to our conversation, with the East being wide open, can't say the same about the West. The West is stacked up. Right now, the Clippers look really good. New Orleans is not short of talent. Zion, Slim Zion is here. He's looking dominant. My boy, 12, Ja Morant, looking great out there in Memphis. And they got KCP, which is another champion veteran to add to their pedigree. They got some young guys out there. Their new rookie, Coward, he's looking real good, sharp shooter. He went 6 for 6 for threes. You got Triple J, Defensive Player of the Year. So Memphis is looking good. New Orleans, I say Memphis and New Orleans first because those are when we look at ESPN, they go put them in that lower tier, but I don't think so. I think they're right there, neck and neck, you know? But obviously the favorites this year in the West is Houston. And not favorites to win it all, but favorites to be conference finals. I think Houston and obviously OKC, being that they're the defending champs. And they already started the season going crazy. Shea, you know, you call him the foul merchant, the referee, MVP, but at the end of the day, he's the MVP. And it's for a reason. They put the ball in his hands. He puts the ball on the floor. He creates. He gets whoever he needs to involved. He splits the defense. He reads the defense. He's almost unstoppable. He's like a slithery snake out there. And you gotta eat your Wheaties to keep up with it because that midi is on point, sniper style. I mean, the only person I know with a more potent midi is Kobe, MJ, and Kevin Durant. I think Shea is right up there with them with the mid-range jumper. And it's automatic. So they've got the threat, all those young guys over there, they play well together. They look like they're friends off the court. And that kind of cohesiveness is the ingredients for a championship. So if I'm the other teams in the West, how can I stop that? Denver might be able to do so. And the reason I say that, like I mentioned, those moves that they made definitely puts them in a better spot to going deeper into the playoffs. Granted that everyone stays healthy. You know, Jamal Murray's had back issues in the past. But granted that everyone stays healthy, Denver is in clear lane to be right there with OKC. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna add this toasted fried rice to the middle on top of my veggies so that everything gets sauteed. Get that in there. Don't be shy. Let's avoid the little pieces at the bottom. Got over toasted. Lower your fire to low. And get to work like they do at the hibachi spot. Me, I'm gonna go ahead and start getting everything acclimated. Move everything over with the rice. Get the steak, get the chicken in there. Let's make it happen. Game day fried rice loading. Tonight we got a game to watch, so let's get it going. Trust me, you try this recipe, you'll love it. Oop, I'm making a mess. It's real simple and easy and does the trick. Get it all mixed up. Next, what I'm gonna add is a little more sesame oil and some hoisin sauce. A little soy. Some more garlic powder. I over season this rice. This rice is high protein. Now that I'm working on toning up, and I'm getting myself in the gym. You guys will know I lost over 118 pounds over the course of 3 years, 2.5 years. So now I'm trying to firm up and I'm trying to get myself right. So I eat high protein meals. Before I wouldn't touch starch, but now, I'm incorporating starch into my diet and a high protein. So this double meat, double protein, definitely gonna do the trick for a nice lift session and do some burnouts. So mix all of that together. Now you can turn your fire off because your skillet is burning hot. And that's pretty much it. Just marry everything up in there. Marry everything. Clear this stuff off a little bit. Marry everything in the pan. There you have it. Game day fried rice. If you like egg, I don't like egg in my fried rice anymore. Neither does my family. So we're gonna eat it just like that. But I know a lot of people like egg, and that's more protein. If you want, you can add some egg whites to this rice. There you have it. Concession stand, game day fried rice. Ready to serve. Game day fried rice. Good to go. Now look at that. Nobody can't tell you didn't cook this with a white hat and flipped all the stuff over onto your hat and did all the little tricks. Looks just like the hibachi restaurant. All at home for less. So let's get this out of the skillet or the griddle into a pan so that now we can saute our zucchini and our squash. Because you can't have hibachi style rice without the veggies. All right, so now that your game day rice is finished, just gonna do some veggies to eat on the side. So what I'm gonna do, I took the skillet, cleaned it off, and I just put some butter to melt. Get that on the fire. While that is melting and we get ready to put the zucchini and the squash on, let's talk about the last two spots. So number 2 in my prediction in this year's MVP race, you guessed it, last year's MVP, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Like I said, the Midi King, the foul merchant, whatever you want to call him, the ref's MVP, he's going to be right there. He's already started the season with a bang. So Shai is going to be my number 2 pick for MVP. The defending champions have the most work. They have all the pressure is on them. Everyone else is trying to reach them or trying to acquire what they have. So that team has to stay together the best that they can. They got Caruso, tremendous, great defender. They've got Hartenstein in the middle with Chet. Jalen Williams, he's hurt right now, but he'll be back. I mean, OKC is a tough team to beat. Their depth, the depth that they have, their bench goes deep. So expect Shea to do some remarkable things again this season, just like he did last season. So I have him as my number 2. I don't really got much to say. It's self-explanatory with him as far as his abilities out there. His like I said, his midi is right up there with MJ, Kobe, and KD. I think as far as a mid-range jumper, those guys got it. Honorable mention, DeMar DeRozan. But yeah, Shea's going to be right back. So lock him in as my second pick. Remember, I said it. So I'm going to add, I got some garlic, I got onions, I got squash, and I got zucchini. I'm just going to add that to the butter. I'm going to saute all of that. While it's in here, just going to season it. Season it in the middle. Add some black pepper. Onion powder. Garlic powder. Some all-purpose seasoning. And a little bit of that pepper salt. And you just toss that in. And everything get acquainted. One of the best things about the NBA season is the fact that there's always a game going on. Unlike football, where it's concentrated to just Sunday, Monday, and Thursday, the NBA, you could always catch something, and I love it. I'm gonna add a little bit of sesame oil. I'm gonna let that saute and cook down. All right, and once these veggies are all sauteed and start getting those nice grill marks, you, my friend, are done. So now you got it. Game day fried rice with sauteed vegetables, concession stand style. Let's plate this up and we can talk about who the number 1 prediction for MVP is. And there you have it. Chicken and steak fried rice with some sauteed veggies and some yum yum sauce on top. Good to go. Ready for the game. All right. All right, guys. So food is done. Now, as I promised, let's get to the number 1 MVP candidate for this season. My predictions here on the concession stand. Drum roll. Well, before the drum roll, let's back it up. Recap. At the number 5 spot, we had Anthony Edwards. Ant-Man as a number 5 MVP candidate. At the number 4 spot, we had Giannis. At the number 3 spot, we had Jokic. And at the number 2 spot, we had last year's MVP, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Now, for the number 1 spot, we got Luka Magic. Yes, skinny Luka. Luka has already been on a tear the first week, first 2 games. He's just shy of 100 points already. Assists up there. The Lakers got DeAndre Ayton now. He's got a lob threat. Yes, they need some serious work. DeAndre looks like Butterfingers out there. But they'll get it together, I'm sure, as the season goes on. But Luka is on a mission. Mark my words. Luka is going to be in that top 2, if not the number 1, for a scoring title this year or for the MVP. I'm telling you, he heard the talks last year. He heard all the rumors. He heard everyone talk about him being out of shape. Nico shipped him away from his home in Dallas, sent him to LA mid-season like he wasn't a superstar. I mean, when have you ever seen a top 5 talent be traded? Not free agency, traded. So that was a big, boulder-sized chip on his shoulder already. In the offseason, he went and played in the Eurobasket for Slovenia, and he went ballistic. He lost 31 pounds, put some muscle on. He's way more in shape. He's moving or sliding those puppies, as Perk would say, or as Cuffs would say, rather. And he's doing the damn thing. So watch out for Luka coming out the gate. Don't be surprised by All-Star break. He's leading the league in scoring. And he might be just averaging shy of a triple-double. But I think Luka has all the ingredients this year. He knows Ant-Man sent him home last year. He saw Shea and Oklahoma City win the chip after he knows that he beat them when he was in Dallas. And he's fallen out of the top 3 conversation. As we know, he is a top 5 talent. So my number 1 pick for MVP, Luka. I don't know about the Lakers winning the championship, but I know Luka is going to put on. So that's it. There you have it. Let's get into this fried rice so that I can get back and go catch the game. And I'm going to see you guys in the next episode. Cheers. Y'all got to try this recipe. Peace.